40 years of developing hockey players from youth to the pros, Minnesota Hockey Camps has a player development program for you. Located in Breezy Point, Minnesota, our professionally coached on-ice development sessions, off-ice speed training, weight room sessions, stick handling sessions, shooting skill sessions are the right program for you. MHC takes great pride in its tradition with developing NHL players like Chris Stewart, Ryan Bugsy Malone, Scotty Hartnell, and TJ Oshie. Our dedicated staff is ready for you. Come check us out at MinnesotaHockeyCamps.com. Sign up for your chance to become the player you've always wanted to be. Hashtag who will be next.
Cold showers, leaking pipes, furnace giving you the chills? Look no further. At Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, we've got you covered. From expert plumbing solutions to HVAC magic and all sheet metal work, we are your one-stop shop for comfort and reliability. Professional service from a team that cares. Say goodbye to household woes and hello to peace of mind. Call Iron Range Plumbing and Heating today and feel the difference.
At Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, we have the trucks. Over 47 new Silverados and Sierras sitting currently on the lot with more to come. We have all the options: LT, RST, LTZ, High Countries, ZR2s. We have heavy duties. We have Sierra, SLT, Elevations, Denali's. We are equipped for the truck you are looking for. With great rebates currently, with up to $12,500 off on select models, now would be a great time to take advantage of savings and get yourself into a new truck today. Grand Rapids GM in Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
Welcome everybody to the Tea with Ms McGill Show, presented by our friends over at Fortune Bay Resort and Casino up on beautiful Lake Vermilion. Make plans today to visit Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. Fortune Bay offers 172 rooms and a smoke-free resort environment, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, a bar, and of course 24/7 gaming. Visit FortuneBay.com for details and plan your trip to Fortune Bay today. We're sitting at about, 4 or 5 inches of snow, you think?
Yeah.
Around here?
Yeah, close
around
to
here.
it.
So it won't be long. Sleds will be fired up, a little whack, whack, whack. So with that in mind, I said make your reservation up at Fortune Bay. Sled all day. You can do a little ice fishing, get your game on. Great time. I know a $700,000 winner at Fortune Bay in 2017, so you can win the big bucks too. So FortuneBay.com.
700 grand?
Yes, happened to be my father-in-law.
Oh, wow.
Way back in the day, and if you win the 700 grand, they put you up in the I don't know if it's the King Suite or whatever. You can stay there all week. They feed you steak dinner, room service,
Well, they
everything.
want you to dump it back in.
100%. So
Yeah.
go and win the 700 and be treated like a king. They know how to take care of you up there at Fortune Bay Resort and
They're
Casino.
not stupid.
That's
If
right.
you win money up there, they're going to comp you so you can spend a little
Big
more.
time comp. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
come on up. And we just couldn't make it.
Sounds
Too much
like
stuff
Vegas.
going on. Yeah. So week 3 of the Minnesota State boys, high school hockey season, 24-25. It is Puka speaking. Star of the show, Coach Reed Larson, episode 94. How we doing? Besides the health, a little bit.
Well, just a little under the weather. It seems like you catch me in this state every winter at some point in time, so it's going through every team right now. I don't care where you're at or where you're playing. The little cold bug is going through everybody, so it found its way and nestled its way into my sinuses and my lungs a little bit. So excuse me if I got to turn to the side and cough a little bit, but we're going to get through it.
You'd be all right. Yeah. Well, everyone got together for the holidays. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Super spreader.
Well,
Super
the
spreader.
listeners deserve to listen to hockey even if I got to cough a little bit.
100%.
We
Yes.
appreciate your follows.
Yes. So 21 days from now, of course, the big Christmas holiday. So once again, keep us in mind. We got the T-shirts, we got baseball caps, we got the hoodies. Maybe I'll wear the hoodie next week. We do a little deal here till Christmas. If you order at least 2 items, we'll ship for free. So, like I said, Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com. You can get a hold of Reed, get a hold of myself, Facebook Messenger, whatever text, and we'll figure out a way to get it to you. And like I said, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that good stuff. So we'll take care of you. So, like I said, the perfect gift for Dad for Christmas in 2024 is some Tea with Ms McGill merch.
Yeah, because Dad has probably seen the movie.
Yeah,
Young
right.
Blood.
That's right. Dad knows Youngblood. Dad
Guessing
knows
he's
Youngblood.
seen it.
He's a hockey guy. He knows it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Great point. All right, recent subscribers. Phil Drobnik.
Oh, Coach Phil.
A big one there.
That is Team USA curling coach Phil.
Big time.
Welcome, listener Phil,
Absolutely.
to the show.
Yep,
This is a big timer here. He's in the Olympics
that's
here.
a big one. You guys look him up. Yep,
Yeah, look him up. Big timer. See, we're starting to get some big wheelers following the show here. Thanks for listening, Phil. Appreciate you.
So Phil Drobnik, Fighting Sioux alum, and Jay Doshin. So be just like these fine folks. Subscribe to America's fastest growing hockey podcast today. And like I said, by subscribing, you show us support, and it really helps the show, and it's obviously no cost to you. So if you could subscribe, again, we really appreciate that. 'Tis the season of giving. You can give to the 2 with Ms McGill Show at no cost to you. All right, hammer the follow button, hammer the like button, and let's get you up into our game of the week here, presented by the Rink Sports Bar and Grill. It's gift card special time.
But again, it's
what's
we
your
talked about
term?
it last year. This is kind of a no-brainer.
There you go. The
no-brainer gift card for the Rink.
The Rink Sports
Bar and Grill.
Yeah. So of course, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Got the nightly specials. So what we're doing, or what they're doing this year, is for every $100 you buy in gift card, you get $20 free.
Oh, that's the no-brainer.
Yes. Yeah. So $100, get $20 until December 24th. So go ahead and do the no-brainer. 248-8582 to get a hold of them, or the ringsportsbarandgrill.com. And when you're there, find Michelle and tell Michelle that the Tea with Ms McGill show sent you.
And get the Rink Burger. Oh my gosh.
That's where we were this summer. Go back and look at our Insta and Facebook.
Yeah, check the Instagram. You took the picture of me before I ate it, and we took a group picture afterwards with one of the workers that was there.
Yeah.
Because they had their T-shirt on, and I was a little under the weather because I ate the whole thing.
You did eat the whole thing, and the fries.
Oh my gosh, was that good? We got to get back over very soon so I can have the Rink Burger.
What we can do is we can interview Phil Drobnik.
Yeah,
Phil.
There you go. We're gonna get you.
That's our gateway over there. All right, so. Our featured game of the week, last week, the number 2 Wayzata Trojans come up to the Iron Trail Event Center. Big matchup, AA matchup against Rock Ridge. So just kind of a quick recap here. So Rock Ridge actually scored on their first shot. They were buzzing. 2-1 after one. Shots were about even. And actually, there was that goal called off by Rock Ridge. I was not there. I did the stream. So if somebody knows, because they scored the goal, actually the goal light went on, but then they disallowed it. So I don't know if there was a conference. Like, please comment if you were there. I don't know if there was a conference with the goal judge and the refs. It looked like the refs were pretty much in the middle of the ice the whole time, so I don't know exactly what happened there. So obviously, it could have been 3-1 after one. So in the second period, Trojans pretty much dominated despite getting 5 penalties. So there were some big saves by Rockridge goalie Steve Ranaset. In the third, so it's 2-2 after 2. In the third, they each pop one, but with just a minute and 1 second to go, the Sauer kid, by the way, I'm 99% sure because they were here for the Bantam AA state tournament last year. Wayzata was. Do you remember Kurt Sauer around your age?
Yeah, vaguely.
He was
UMD player, former UMD player?
Cloud.
Say Cloud. So it must have been a brother that played at UMD.
There were 2. See,
I think they're both from Sartell.
There you go. Because there's 3 boys, and the story is Kurt played in the NHL.
Okay.
One brother played in the NHL, the other brother, but the other brother played in the NFL.
Yes, yeah. This is an athletic family. The reason why I say Sartell because that's a football town, and very rarely, back in those days when we were graduating from high school, did you see guys from Sartell end up going
that's very true.
NHL situations. Football would be out of the question because football was their big winger back then. But I remember the names because my dad was a police officer in Sartell at the time. So,
okay.
And I'd spend my summers down there.
Okay. All right. So, big dude, like I said, great guy. Talked to him a little bit last week. Anyway, I'm assuming this is his son. So with a minute to go, he finds the net. And the problem with that goal of Wayzata is Rock Ridge had 2 pretty easy clearing attempts just previous to that. So kids, remember, Don Cherry will tell you, when in doubt, get the puck out. when in doubt, get the puck out. And that's not what Rockridge did. Shots end up 37-20 in favor of Wayzata. And then I'm sure many of you have seen, it's been all over the internet, the clash at the end there with Timberio. He gets a game, has to miss the game the next day against Waconia. But all in all, kind of just, put a bow on it. 3-2, not too bad. Like I said, pretty cool that the number 2 team in the state, headed up to the range. I know you saw some of this game, so just thoughts, Coach Larson.
Yeah, at that point in time, Wayzata was considered number 2. There's been a lot going on here in the last couple of weeks. There's been some shuffles in the ratings. Now you see St. Thomas Academy at the top. You see some other teams at the top and bumping other teams out. At any rate, that is nobody wants to take a moral victory. I mean, Coach Niskanen would be the first one to tell you, I'm not interested in a moral victory. I want to win. And I'm sure all of his players do too, guys that have been there like Imperial and Kaz Carlson and Walters. These guys want wins, so they're not going to take a moral victory. But for the fans, that is a fairly decent moral victory. You're playing one of the top 5, top 10 teams in the state in AA, and it's your second year in AA, and you're taking them into the end of the game, right? Yeah. You're battling with them, and that's a team that earlier the week before had just beat Moorhead in overtime.
Yes.
3-2 down at the Turkey Trot in Plymouth. So that's a team there, and that's good. However, you mentioned it. There's some things during that game. I watched the second and the third period on TV and got a chance to watch my partner there, Brian Bob.
Bob
calling
it.
So I always like to listen when he's on the call. And I didn't get to see the first period, so I'm glad you mentioned that there was a good start, giddy up start from Rockridge, but the rest of the game was highly dominated by Wayzata. But hey, there were situations where Rockridge survived, and there's question marks because how do you pronounce the goalie's name again? Ranastat. Yeah. He's a heck of a goalie. That was a question mark because the goaltender that was there last year, Rothfort, played a lot of their games last year, and the question mark was when he graduates, who's coming back? Well, I'll tell you what, he played pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that. To me, I don't see that as much of a question mark as a lot of people were questioning once the season was done with Rothfort. The question mark I have is why didn't he play more last year and get a few more times in the game? That's the only question I have.
Sure.
Right? Rothfort was a pretty good goalie, but this guy's darn good. He played well against the top team in the state of Minnesota. And just going back to the Sauer conversation, if anybody knows this, the assumption in my mind is that this Sauer kid at Wayzata is cousins with KJ Sauer, who plays at Andover. If somebody knows that, let me know. I think their dads are brothers, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Yes, please comment. That'd be great. All right, but so yeah, like you said, you talked about the fans. I mean, it looked like a really good crowd, there too. So, like I said, don't want to take the moral victory, but I guess congratulations, Rockridge. A great game against a tough opponent. Like I said, throwing you to the wolves right away early in the season. All right, next game up, the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks travel to Spudville, out to Moorhead, caught up with the Spuds, and found a way to put her in OT. I see.
Yeah, it was, the game was rather, I don't want to use the word sloppy because we used that before, but it really was, and we're kind of shaken. Thunderhawks have been kind of shaken off some of the summer rust and the fall hockey rust, and just weren't really up to the standards, I guess, of Rapids hockey. But the game it stayed in the realm of keeping it close because goaltender Carter Casey was unbelievable. The shots were they said he saw 47 shots. I think those shots might have been a little padded. I don't know if it was 47. It would have been close to 40, right? Yeah. Whether it's a couple over or a couple under, but they might have added a few in my mind. I could be wrong. However, that doesn't really matter that much. What matters is he made a couple of big saves that game could have opened up at a couple of moments.
So at the right time?
Yeah, he stopped a complete break for one guy. He stopped a breakaway. He stopped a 2-on-1 that was a backdoor pass, and it was oh my gosh. These guys, the guys he stopped would have scored in any other situation, like Brooks Cullen or Mickelson, their top defenseman, who's probably going to be up for the Reed Larson Award at the end of the year. Like, these are top end players, and one of the things that you see is that at that point in time, I think Moorhead probably is rated in the top 5 in the state. So again, nobody likes moral victories. You come out of that game saying you put this game into overtime with one of the top 5 teams in the state and you didn't play great. Okay. You weren't at the top of your game, and nobody's expecting people to be at the top of their game for 2 games or 3 games into the season. But it really was sloppy till the third period, and then things kind of came together. Like Thunderhawks took care of the defensive zone. They started doing things a little bit better, started getting some movement, started doing things together, and one goal went in. We made it 3-2, and then under a minute pulled the goalie, and it was literally as the goalie got out of the net and got to the bench, we barely got the 6th attacker on, and we tied the game up. So nice little play. Luca makes the side pass over to Jamison Dwell, and he rips it in through traffic in front, and the game's tied with under a minute. So it was kind of good to get that game rolling, and you know, you battle back in a situation against a top-rated team like that. You like to see finishing that game on a positive note, but you know, a lot of big games like that are won and lost on face-offs, and we ended up losing a draw in our own zone and lost a guy in front of the net, and then bang, it's in the back of our net. So it went off a guy or two. Couldn't even be considered Carter's fault at all, because I think it hit at least one person in traffic in front of the net. So if anybody's into moral victories, I'm not. Coach Clafton is not into moral victories, and neither are the 17 to 20 guys that were dressed that night. But you could take away and say you took the top 5, one of the top 5 teams in the state into overtime. You didn't even play very good, and that team was really good. I don't know if that team can play a whole lot better than they did, and I know we can. So, I mean, they were really good, like really good. And we kept them at bay and didn't play great. So.
And you're on the road.
Yeah, on the road. That's kind of a, you know, as a coaching standpoint, and I learned this quite a few years back coaching with my coaching comrade down in Wilmer, Dan Tollefson. You keep it close on the road and you win it in the end. And that's kind of what the idea was. Keep it close. Don't try to do things too cute and pretty. I hope that you can keep it close, and then when it gets down to the nuts and bolts of the end of the game, pop it in, tie it up, and see if you can win in overtime. We just didn't execute. Came out on the bad end of that one, but it was a well-played hockey game for one period, and it was sloppy for 2.
Okay. All right. We'll jump into the final game we were kind of keeping an eye on, featuring Chisholm Haven Blue Jackets. St. Cloud Cathedral, number 1 single A team, comes up. Lots of energy in the building. I got there about kind of later in the first period. Shots end up about even. Ends up being a 6-3 victory for Hibbing. One thing, I was sitting with some classmates. We kind of looked at each other and like, boy. And if someone can comment on this, perhaps you know when the last time the Blue Jackets have beat the number 1 team in the state. It could have been the 80s, for all I know. You know, before single A, before double A, all that good stuff. So anyway, knock them off. Of course, last year's state champs. Chisholm got all in the nets. Another take I had, the 5th goal was scored by Whitaker Rewerts, freshman, from Cole Swanson, freshman, and it was kind of cool to see not just those two connecting this early in the season, but also just, you know, at the beginning of their high school careers as both freshmen, and those two have combined. You talk to kids, those two have to be combined for 500 points through Pee-wees and Bantams. Pretty potent duo, so it was pretty cool to see that. Kind of the icing on the cake there with Finn. And then, of course, they got the empty netter. Chisholm now moves up to number 4 according to the CARE 11 poll, but of course behind Cloquet-Esco Carleton, who's number 3. And if you want to know why Cloquet-Esco Carleton is number 3, you can go back to our show from last week.
Yeah. Knocked it off, what was it, 8-5 a week ago?
Yes, 8-5, yeah. So in Hibbing. So
that's
anything
even harder to do.
Yeah.
At the Memorial Building.
Right, you know. So anyway, you know, big win. Anything on that? I don't know if you got to see any of that game.
No, I didn't get to see any of that game, but you know, you're talking about, you know, games that Hibbing has played over the course. They play a pretty tough schedule. They always have, even when they were single A, and even on the years that they were down, years that Mark DeCenzo was coaching, that always carried a very difficult schedule, and didn't matter what the record ended up at the end of the year. You want to play the best teams. So they always played good teams. That's a really good question. Like, at what point in time, have they played number one teams and knocked them off?
Right.
I think now since then, I think Cathedral has kind of bumped down a little bit, because I don't know if they've maybe won a game or won one since the start of the year.
I think they won one. They tied Warroad the first game of the year down in St. Cloud.
So there's a little bit of growing pains with some of these teams that were in the state championship and won a state championship last year. Like St. Cloud Cathedral won the title for single A last year, and they're struggling at the beginning of the year. Same thing with Edina. They're struggling at the beginning of the year. So they're dropping down, and some other teams are climbing to the top of the polls. Not that polls always have to matter, or rankings have to matter that much, but they do in terms of the kids looking at these things and giving themselves confidence when they beat these teams.
Right, sure.
I think that helps out too. But just a little bit on some of the games of the week. Like you talked about, we talked about the Rock Ridge game, we talked about the Rapids game in Moorhead, talked about the Chisholm game with Cathedral. Rapids last night was over in Proctor. Another win for the Thunderhawks. They end up going to 3-1, I think it is, and out of 4 games. It's a 6-2 win. Nothing special about the win, but we did talk about that. Proctor being a team that could be rated in that top 4 in the section for Section 7A. I don't have any question in my mind that your top 3 are going to be your Hermantown, Hibbing, and Cloquet, not in any particular order, but your number 4 is probably Proctor. They've got some players there. Tanner Ross, Bryant, the younger Ross boy, all good hockey players, and they were definitely out there, but they're out there a lot. That's the problem. They're not as deep. Okay. So 6-2 win for the Thunderhawks. It wasn't anything to talk too much about, other than just a huge shout out to Ryder Miskovich, senior goalie, captain, got his first win of the year, got him in the nets, got himself a W, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah. All right. Congrats, Ryder. All right. Good time to pound the like button, and we will get into the previews for next week. Presented, as always, by Aspire Heating and Control, your local Bright dealer. And Bright is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential and commercial installations. Available services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. They are, of course, licensed and bonded. Give Justin a call, 218-999-5957. I was on the phone with Justin just yesterday. So awesome guy, great hockey parent. Like I said, 20 below wind chill tonight. So if you don't feel that Purtis is up to stuff tonight, give Justin a call, 999-5957. Okay, let's go back to the Thunderhawks here. Headed north. You got your northern swing. You don't when you live up on the range, you don't head north too often for trips.
Well, actually, so it's a northern swing, but they're actually coming here to Yanmar. We made the swing up to Roosevelt last year, so we'll be at home here.
I'm mistaken. Okay.
Yeah, no worries, but it's always interesting because you get those back-to-back teams, and again, whether they're coming in as a top team in the state, like Warroad is, they're one of the top-rated teams in Single A, or whether they're not considered in the top 10 or top 15, which Roseau isn't at the moment, but it never seems to matter. Never seems to matter if they're rated or not. When we play Roseau, it's always a game.
Oh, sure.
And it's always a game when we go there and play in the Roseau Memorial Arena, or if they come here tomorrow night, Friday night. Right. That's a 6 o'clock game here at Yanmar. It's not a 7 o'clock start. They start that game a little early because after Roseau plays us, they make a shot down to Elk River.
Right.
So they'll play that. They get the game done, get on the bus, get their food, and they get down there, get in their hotel, and play the game the next afternoon. So a lot of travel for the Rams.
That's Section 8. It's just
they got to run around, and that's a section game for them too. So, but that's going to be a battle weekend for us, and it should help for the Thunderhawks to work to get some momentum going while they get this weekend swing against Roseau Warroad, next week a full week of practice, and then another top team in the state at home against Maple Grove, and then you go walking into Edina Classic with Edina Eden Prairie and Elk River.
Yeah, that's coming quick.
The schedule doesn't get any easier for the old GR Thunderhawks. It just keeps coming.
I see that. Okay. And then speaking of, then you've got War Road, of course, on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
And I see War Road will head to Rock Ridge on Friday.
Yeah, wear him down for us, would you, Nisky? Go ahead and wear him down. To see if you can get those guys beat up a little bit, pound them around the rink a little bit, bring them so they come in here a little wounded.
Yeah. So that's their little road swing there. And then a game I am likely to attend, Chisholm Hibbing at Totino Grace. I mean, the city's on Saturday.
Totino!
So we'll go see the buddy.
Timmy
Parkus. Behind the bench.
Well, maybe if he's there, he'll pick his phone up if you call him.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, we got him face to face.
Yeah, well, you have him there.
Yeah, we'll get him. So
you pin him in the corner. Hey, I know I can talk. Yeah,
100%. So that's kind of a heads up on what's going on this week. What time's your Saturday game, Warrow? Do you know? Is that afternoon?
Saturday's going to be an afternoon game. I think it's a 2:00 game.
Okay, perfect. All right, scores and more. Brought to you by Iron Range Apparel. Check out their Instagram. Check out their Facebook, Iron Range Apparel. They're updating it all the time. Like I said, gift buyer's paradise. Christmas is 21 days away. They got the ODRs. They got ODR swag. So that's the exclusive place for anything ODR. They got the jerseys, the jersey shirts. They got the ham beer shirts there. They've got, like I said, all kinds of Minnesota themed, like knickknacks, I call them. So if you're looking for that perfect gift for somebody, it could be mom, it could be daughter, it could be dad, it could be son. They got a little bit of something for everybody. And of course, new location in the Super One building, just off the Super One on Highway 53 in Virginia. And like I said, check out their social media. They'll take care of you. Oh, and if you want merch made, they do tees, visors, hats, hoodies, all that good stuff. 741-5138, 741-5138, Iron Range Apparel.
The kings of the ODR apparel.
Okay, there, look at it right here. Look at how good he looks.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Not that he didn't get any better looking, but it actually
it
just
helps
a little bit.
Improve my looks.
That's okay.
Thank you.
All right, real quick on the scores of more. I Falls, they have not yet started their season. They open this weekend in Kenora versus Beaver Bray Secondary School. So go Broncos. I've been looking for scores. Get a little later start. So go Broncos there. Ely nipped by North Shore 5-2. Bemidji, 9 RIP winners over Thief River Falls. We talked about Rosso beating them last week 7-1, so it's looking like Thief River might have a little bit of a down year.
Struggleville right now. Sounds like. Sorry to hear that. The old home of Coach Chido.
Yeah, that's right. He's a Thief guy. He's a prowler. He's a prowler. Rosso, victorious over Brainerd. The Brainerd Warriors 2-1. Denfeld drubbed by Chisholm Hibbing 7-1. Cloquet trounces Princeton, puts her in double digits 10-1. Proctor, of course, down by GR 6-2. Duluth East hammered by Champlain Park 5-2, and Hermiton pounded by Hill Murray 7-2.
Is there a surprise there? Is anybody surprised in that when they see that score? Some people might say, "Wow, I can't believe it." I can. Because just looking at the guys that Hill has coming back, like they're two teams right now in AA hockey, both private, that are just loaded.
Oh, they are. So they're a little head and shoulders above.
They are loaded, and so is St. Thomas Academy loaded. Okay. Those are two of the best teams in the state right now in AA hockey.
Okay, I didn't know that. Because I was surprised. I'm like, boy.
Well, and when the
last
wheels,
time Warren got beat 7-2. I mean, Hermiton got beat 7-2.
When the wheels fall off, it's like a shark going after blood. Like they'll just keep coming at you because they are so electric when it comes to putting the puck in the net. They've got some studs on that Hill team.
Okay, and are you there this year or are they here?
We go there. We go there in January. That's a weekend swing where we go down to White Bear on Friday and Hill Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Mid-January sometime.
Might not be able to see it. Maybe I'll catch them this week. I know that Stillwater Arena, I think a noon game Saturday is Hermantown Matamidi, if I'm correct. But anyway, somebody's down there that I might catch too. But anyway, where was I? Brainerd winners over River Lake 6-3. Duluth Marshall overtakes Superior 3-1. Greenway is whacked by Waconia 5-0. And Rock Ridge the next night beat Waconia 5-2. And the Walleyes CFP, Edina Hornets update, 8-3 winners over Chanhassen. So maybe they're starting to turn a little bit after school start. All right.
That was a replay of the state championship.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's pretty,
Not
they
necessarily a replay, but a rematch.
Oh, yeah,
and that was Chanhassen's opportunity to say, hey, you whacked us in the state title game. However, Chanhassen, they graduated. I don't want to say everybody because it's still a team, right? But they graduated their top goalie. They graduated the top scorers. So I'm sure that there's a little bit of a struggle trying to continue to rebuild. In a program like Chanhassen, who all the way through youth hockey was Chaskatoon. Right? And then you get a high school, you split and go to two different high schools. But I do think that in recent history, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I do think that a lot of the more high-end talent guys, when it splits, end up going to the Chan side. Okay. At least in recent history, the ones that have gone to Chaska in recent history have left when they go to high school and have gone to Minnetonka in recent years.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but Minnetonka's not getting the players they used to get. They're not. Their recruiting classes are starting to fall off.
And Chan, if I remember right last year, they kind of got on a roll, didn't they?
They did.
They were the team that kind of rolled in. I mean, Elk, I guess you could make an argument too, beating Moorhead and stuff. But my recollection was this Chan really got on a roll last year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a couple of our items. Mike Randolph is now your all-time winningest hockey coach. 708 wins last Monday in his first game coaching for Northern Lakes. He's 36 years in, and like I said, Northern Lakes pounded Prairie Center 11-0. So,
yeah,
you know Coach Randolph a little bit.
Yeah, just two things on that. No, like a big congratulations to Coach Randolph. I don't think anybody was expecting anything other than a win and him to take it over. Once he took that job in Northern Lakes, he knew, okay, he's going to be the winningest coach, and he's just going to keep adding to it the rest of the season. The side note on the Prairie Center team, Prairie Center lost a player on their team this last week. I don't know what the tragedy was, but they lost a player that tragically passed away, and some condolences to the people of Sauk Center, Long Prairie, Grey Eagle, that whole program over there. I know the program well. When I used to coach in Wilmer, we used to make a trip up every year, and they used to make a trip down to Wilmer every year. So just know the people in the Prairie Center community, the Stars, that they're in our thoughts and prayers, the loss of that young man.
100%. All right. Do you know Derek Peterson?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I know that guy.
You know that guy?
Yeah.
Well, if you see him on Friday, it's a big happy birthday.
What?
It's a big happy birthday.
What is he, 28?
I was going to say, maybe turning 30.
Okay,
he's turning
he's a
30.
young
I'm not
puppy.
quite sure. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out
DP.
to Iron Range Goalie Academy's Derek. There we go. Yep, Derek Peterson. All right, anything to add to episode 94?
94?
We're getting closer.
We're inching on it. We're getting closer each week.
Kind of figure we have to get together for party planning.
Yep. Anybody that's a party planner that thinks they want to turn this into a bash of the century, then just hit up Puka.
We're ready. Yeah, we're ready.
Puka's got the wallet.
That's going to put us in just a little bit after Christmas. We'll get through the doldrums of New Year's for a week or two, and then boom, by January 15th, it's time to ramp it up again.
He's got the wallet for all of it. Any of the finances that I have to make in my life is going into my project that's being built in my yard.
Yeah. And I saw it today. Yeah, they didn't get it enclosed yet, I see.
Not quite yet. They're working
it's going to be
on
cold.
It. Well, I think they would have had the roof on today if it wasn't just howling wind outside.
Yeah, like 80 miles an hour all day.
I don't think Donnie wanted to have his workers up on the roof. I don't think OSHA would have liked that very much.
No, yeah.
But he's got people strapped on when it's 30-mile-an-hour winds and below zero wind chill.
Yes, and speaking of that, I did go through this with the kids. Remember, it's that time of year. Run your vehicles when it says cold, and of course, don't let it get below half tank with gas. Otherwise, if you got some water in there, you could be in trouble. So keep our half tank 20 below tonight. Like I said, the wind is howling, and safe travels. Like I said, not just to the teams, but also to your fans that are venturing out this weekend. All right, punch the follow button. Subscribe on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. We appreciate that. On X, find us under T McGill. Find us under Tea with Ms. McGill. Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Musi app. On Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, it's Goat Sports Media LLC. If you forget the LLC, you're not going to find us. So it's Goat Sports Media LLC. I said, leave a review on Facebook if you could. We've only got a couple of them, so we'd appreciate a review there. Again, our merch is available for Christmas. Get the perfect Christmas gift for mom or dad. I said, t-shirts are just $20. $22 for like double X, $45 for the hoodies, you know, much like this. So like I said, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal will get you taken care of. And as always, thank you to the greatest partners on earth: Aspire Heating and Control, the Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Iron Range Apparel, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Zorba's of Grand Rapids, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Grand Rapids Chevrolet GMC, Minnesota Hockey Camps, Iron Range Plumbing and Heating, First National Bank, Chisholm Cook, and the Jackson Hole Moose.
Yeah, DJ.
For Ray Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. You're tuned to the Tea with Ms McGill Show.
Would you like to hear about Zorba's specials? On Mondays, it's Micro Monday. All taps are just $4. Tuesdays, $3 tacos and $4 dos Equis. Wednesdays, personal pizzas, $8 and domestic taps, $4. Thursdays, we have deals on nachos and $5 surly taps. We offer trivia on Wednesdays at 6 p.m., bingo on Thursday at 6 p.m., and then karaoke Thursdays at 10 p.m.
All right, fellas, you just can't get the hockey itch out of yourself. The college route isn't for you. Community college route isn't for you. The junior hockey route isn't for you. Well, there's still hockey that you can play. Why don't you check out the Jackson Hole Moose out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming? Take a look at these guys. Full crowds, full hockey, packed houses every night. Get a hold of TJ Thomas on Facebook, and he can get you hooked up with what's going on out there in Jackson Hole.
First National Bank of Chisholm, a full-service bank located in the heart of Chisholm on historic Lake Street, locally owned and operated, serving the Iron Range with integrity since 1905.
Did you know that fascia strength training is great if you have a banged up body and you'd like to heal and get stronger at the same time? Unlike muscle-focused exercise that leaves your body stiff and achy, fascia strength exercise releases muscle tension and fills your body with a spring-loaded power and cat-like agility. Fascia strength is great for athletes and martial artists. If you'd like to pursue this training, take a look at my program, Fascia Strength and Power. I'll leave a link in the description box below.
Yo everybody, it is Puka. Quick merch drop here. As always, a little breezy here. We've got the t-shirts, but now visors, $20. T-shirts, $20. Hats. Now these got the patches on them. So let us know also if you'd like to see something different, but Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com, or you instant message. We can do, you know, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all that good stuff. So there it is.